Most people think a high IQ is defined by solving complex equations on a chalkboard or winning at chess. We've been taught that genius looks like Sherlock Holmes, cold, calculating, and socially awkward. But real-world intelligence is much more subtle. In fact, some of the most profound indicators of a high IQ aren't found in a classroom. They're found in your daily habits, your social quirks, and even the things you find funny. Today, we're diving into the psychology of the hidden genius. If you've ever felt like an outsider, or if you possess these specific, scientifically backed behaviors, you might be operating at a cognitive level much higher than you realize. Stick around. Number 7 on our list is a relationship trait that most people actually mistake for a flaw. 1. Their creative rhythms thrive mostly during late-night hours. For decades, society has praised the early bird, but psychology suggests that those who thrive under the moonlight might have the upper hand. A study from the London School of Economics found that nocturnality is actually an evolutionary novelty. Intelligent people are more likely to override the ancestral circadian rhythm. Their brains crave the quiet, stimulation-free hours of the night to process complex thoughts. If you find your peak mental clarity at 2 a.m., you aren't lazy. You're likely following a pattern observed in some of the world's greatest thinkers. 2. Chronic curiosity, the why factor. High IQ individuals have what psychologists call a high typical intellectual engagement, TIE. It's not just about knowing facts. It's about a relentless, almost annoying need to know why things work. While most people accept the world as it is, the high IQ individual views the world as a series of systems to be decoded. If you've ever spent 3 hours on a Wikipedia rabbit hole starting with how bread is made and ending on the thermodynamics of the sun, your brain is wired for high-level pattern recognition. 3. The lone wolf preference. There is a common misconception that smart people are loners because they lack social skills. But the Savannah theory of happiness suggests something different. Research shows that for most people, more social interaction leads to more happiness. However, for those with high intelligence, the opposite is often true. High IQ individuals experience decreased life satisfaction when they socialize too frequently with friends. Why? Because their brains are often hyper-focused on long-term goals and abstract projects. Socializing, while pleasant, can feel like a distraction from their internal world. 4. Dark humor and sarcasm. Do you have a sick sense of humor? A study published in the journal Cognitive Processing found that people who appreciate dark humor, jokes about morbid or complex subjects, scored higher in both verbal and nonverbal intelligence. Why? Because processing a dark joke requires more cognitive load. You have to recognize the irony, the wordplay, and the emotional distance simultaneously. Sarcasm, too, is a sign of a healthy brain. It's essentially a mental workout for the listener and the speaker. 5. Talking to yourself. You might look crazy to a passerby, but talking out loud to yourself is a powerful cognitive tool. It's not a sign of instability, it's a sign of organization. Self-directed speech helps clarify thoughts, reinforce memory, and improve focus. When a high IQ person talks to themselves, they are essentially externalizing their working memory to solve a problem more efficiently. It's a sign that your brain is moving faster than your internal monologue can keep up with. 6. The Dunning-Kruger inverse. One of the most reliable signs of intelligence is the tendency to underestimate your own abilities. This is the inverse of the Dunning-Kruger effect. While less intelligent people often believe they are experts, high IQ individuals are acutely aware of how much they don't know. They are comfortable saying, "I don't know," or "I'm not sure." If you're constantly doubting your own expertise, it's likely because you're smart enough to see the vast complexity of the topic. 7. High levels of adaptability. In the world of psychology, intelligence isn't just about what you know, it's about how you change. Intelligence depends on being able to change your own behaviors in order to cope more effectively with your environment, says many modern theorists. In relationships, this looks like someone who doesn't just argue for the sake of being right. They adapt. They look for the root cause of the conflict and pivot. They can see things from multiple perspectives. If you can stay calm in a crisis and find a new way forward, your IQ is likely in the top percentiles. 8. The organized chaos, creative desk. If your room is a disaster, but you know exactly where everything is, your brain might be prioritized for creative problem solving. A study from the University of Minnesota suggested that a cluttered environment actually encourages breaking free of tradition, which can produce fresh insights. A tidy desk is great for productivity in routine tasks, but a messy desk is the hallmark of a brain that is too busy processing ideas to care about the aesthetic of its surroundings. 9. Worrying and overthinking. It's often called the burden of the genius. High IQ individuals are prone to higher levels of anxiety. This is because intelligence is linked to the ability to simulate future scenarios. While a lower IQ brain might live strictly in the now, a high IQ brain is constantly running what-if simulations. They are hyper-aware of potential risks. While this can lead to overthinking, it's also the same mechanism that allows for brilliant strategic planning and risk management. 10. An appreciation for solitude. Finally, we come to metacognition, the ability to think about your own thinking. Highly intelligent people spend a significant amount of time in reflection. They analyze their own biases, their own mistakes, and their own thought patterns. This self-awareness is why they often prefer solitude. It's not that they dislike people, it's that they find their own internal landscape to be a fascinating, endlessly complex place to explore. So, how many of these behaviors did you recognize in yourself? Are you a night owl who talks to yourself at a messy desk while overthinking a dark joke? If you've spent your life feeling different or out of sync with the people around you, it might not be a deficit. It might be that your brain is simply tuned to a higher frequency. Intelligence isn't a score on a test. It's a way of interacting with the world, a blend of curiosity, adaptability, and the courage to be alone with your thoughts. If you found this insight helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the human mind. And let us know in the comments, what's a weird habit you have that you've always suspected might be a sign of a sharp mind? We read every single one. Thanks for watching and stay curious.